Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're taking a close look at some source material that's definitely going to get people talking. It's a book called Host Tactics, How to Mind FK and A Man into Spending, Spoiling, and Sponsoring.
It's, yeah, pretty direct with the title, isn't it?
It is by G.L. Lambert.
And the book really sets itself up as a kind of guide, almost a strategic manual, for women who are aiming for, well, specific material and financial benefits for men. It lays out a very particular system.
Definitely different from, the usual relationship advice.
Oh, absolutely. Very distinct from more conventional approaches.
Okay, so our mission here today, just to be clear for everyone listening, is to explore the strategies, the mindset, the whole philosophy laid out in this specific book. We're pulling out the core ideas and tactics
Right.
purely to understand what the source is actually saying. We're just laying it out as presented, no endorsements here.
Exactly. It's about understanding the blueprint the author is offering, figuring out the logic within their framework.
Okay, great. So let's jump right in with the core concept itself, Ho tactics. How does the book actually define that?
Well, fundamentally, it's presented as this structured method, a strategy for women to get spending, spoiling, and sponsoring from men.
Right.
And the argument is that this goes beyond just, relying on your looks or having a successful career. It really emphasizes using charm, personality, and crucially, discipline, especially sexual discipline.
And it draws a really sharp contrast, doesn't it?
Okay.
Between this method and what it calls, was it basic bitch ways?
Yeah, or wifey material approaches. The book is pretty dismissive of those.
Why, though? What's the reasoning there?
The author's view is that those more traditional routes often leave women feeling unfulfilled or, frankly, taken advantage of. They're positioned as ineffective if your goal is specifically these material benefits from men.
So this is presented as the more effective alternative for that specific outcome.
Exactly. For that goal, yes.
Got it. And the book breaks down the men targeted by these tactics into different categories.
It does. 3 main types: treats, tricks, and sponsors.
Okay, let's break those down. Treats.
A treat is kind of the entry level. Someone who might pay for dinner, maybe buy small gifts.
Okay, and tricks.
Tricks are a step up. They provide bigger things, maybe expensive presents, paying for travel, that sort of thing.
Right, and the top tier. Sponsors.
Yeah, sponsors are the ones expected to cover major expenses. We're talking rent, car payments, potentially significant amounts of money, or financial support.
Now, what's really interesting is how the book frames this whole thing. It insists it's not just about, sex for money.
No, it's very explicit about that. The source claims the whole strategy hinges on leveraging what it calls a sexualized personality and smart tactics, not necessarily trading sex.
So what's the pussy power concept it mentions then?
Well, according to the book, pussy power isn't just about the physical act. It's defined more as the power that comes from using leverage effectively. Leverage gained through disciplined interaction, strategy, psychology, not just sex itself.
So it's more about the potential and the control, the withholding, rather than the act itself creating the leverage.
That's the argument the book makes, yes. That's the core premise.
Okay, that makes sense as a foundation. So building on that, the mindset and personality seem absolutely crucial for this whole thing to work. What's the number one thing it mentions?
Confidence. It comes up again and again. It's presented as completely essential. The book basically says you have to genuinely feel sexy as fuck deep down.
Right.
For any of the external stuff, the tactics, to actually work convincingly, you have to project the sense of quality.
And what about the men being targeted? How does the book see them?
It paints a picture of men being driven more by, say, excitement and, well, it uses the term savage urges rather than stability.
Okay.
And there's a particular take on successful or wealthy men, too. It suggests they can often be kind of like nerds in social situations, maybe lacking that traditional swag with women.
Which makes them
More susceptible, apparently, to certain social skills, a specific kind of charm, and these strategic interactions laid out in the book.
That's quite perspective.
Yeah.
And how does the book talk about female sexuality and all this?
The advice is basically accept your desires, own them, but apply really strict discipline around acting on them.
Why? What's the strategic reason?
It's pretty blunt. The book says if you give sex away too easily, it uses the phrase, pussy is cheap, you lose your leverage. Your value within this specific game goes down dramatically.
So acknowledge the desire, but control how and when it's expressed for maximum strategic benefit.
That's the idea. And connected to that is the whole emotional side. The book actually calls this business disguised as pleasure.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. It stresses that staying emotionally detached from the mark, that's the term used for the man, is absolutely vital. Falling in love is seen as, well, bad for business. It compromises the strategy.
Right, you lose focus on the goal if emotions get involved. Let's
Okay.
get into the actual tactics then. The book covers several key areas. Appearance is one.
Yeah, but it's not quite what you might think. It's less about just showing skin and more about dressing in a way that makes you, the woman, feel incredibly confident and, yes, sexy as fuck.
Okay.
And also dressing to accentuate your specific body type. The goal isn't just to be revealing, it's to project that confidence and signal quality.
Quality, not desperation.
Exactly. It uses this example, contrasting someone wearing like tiny shorts at a barber shop trying to get attention versus dressing in a way that makes you feel amazing, even if the clothes are simple but fit perfectly. That projection is key, supposedly, for attracting the right kind of man for this strategy.
Okay, that fits the framework. Now, a concept that seems really central, it's mentioned a lot, discipline around dick.
Uh-huh. This is probably the cornerstone tactic, really. Withholding sex is positioned as the main way to build and maintain your value and leverage.
And why is withholding so powerful according to the source?
The idea presented is that making a man wait does a few things. It builds anticipation, it supposedly earns his respect because you're not seen as easy, and it keeps him interested, intrigued.
Like a challenge.
Sort of. The book says it makes you like a code he can't crack, setting you apart from other women he might encounter. And it also emphasizes practical things, like setting boundaries clearly and having easy outs planned for tempting situations.
Easy outs.
Yeah, like ways to leave if you find yourself alone with him too early. Because the book is quite blunt, it says, you aren't stronger than sex, so you need external strategies to maintain that discipline.
So the strategy is the withholding.
Yeah.
And the whole dating process itself is mapped out strategically too, isn't it?
Oh, completely. The first date is framed as just a sample.
A sample.
Yeah, like a perfume sample. He gets a taste, an experience, a memory of you, but you make it crystal clear you won't be going home with him. That sets your initial value. No sex on the first date, period.
Okay, sample provided. What about the second date?
That's when you're setting your price, as the book puts it. And you do this primarily by choosing the location.
How does the location set the price?
The advice is to pick somewhere elegant, refined, not necessarily the most expensive place, but somewhere with ambiance. It suggests using Yelp to find romantic spots. It connects this to a concept called "you are what you eat,"
Meaning?
meaning the environment you choose reflects your standards, your value. So no fast food dates, no ordering pizza at his place. It signals what you expect.
Got it. And the first 3 dates overall, was there purpose in this strategy?
They serve as a critical test period. During these initial interactions, you're meant to be assessing him. Is this guy potentially a treat, a trick, or maybe even a sponsor based on his behavior, his spending, his willingness to invest?
And you have to be willing to.
Walk away. The book stresses that if he doesn't seem to fit the criteria, if he's not showing that willingness to invest according to your standards, you cut your losses and move on.
Okay. Shifting to interaction style communication, flirting, how does the book approach that?
Well, flirting isn't just about showing you're interested. It's framed as a tool to dominate the game, to actively sell yourself. The claim is that women have become too passive, and men often mistake politeness for real interest.
So it advocates being more forward.
Definitely more strategic, and it mentions specific nonverbal stuff too.
Like what?
Things like strategically invading his personal space, sitting a bit closer than normal, maybe light touches on the arm or shoulder at the right moment. And eye contact is key, but not just friendly eye contact. It talks about channeling a sense of desire and intensity through your gaze.
And voice gets mentioned too, something about a sexy highlighter.
Exactly. Using voice inflection, it points to the Marilyn Monroe example, maybe a slightly lower tone, almost a whisper sometimes, but still clear. The idea is that how you say things, the specific inflection, can make even mundane phrases sound alluring, hint at something more filthy, as the book puts it.
Interesting. Beyond the nonverbals, what about actual conversation?
That's strategic too. The main advice is to steer the conversation towards his interests. Find out what he's passionate about.
Like the examples it gives.
Yeah, like bringing up the video game GoldenEye if he's into that, or asking about his favorite shows. The reasoning is that connecting on his level makes you seem like more than some pretty girl.
Yeah.
It builds rapport differently.
And this leads into a kind of seduction that isn't actually about sex.
Yes, exactly. What the book calls the non-sexual way to seduce. The goal is to become his fantasy woman.
Oh, I do that.
By being someone he feels totally comfortable with, a great listener, non-judgmental, someone he can talk to about anything, even taboo or filthy subjects, without feeling like you'll think less of him.
And getting comfortable quickly on dates helps with this.
Yes, the book suggests that acting relaxed and confident early on can really impress men, especially those used to women being more shy or reserved initially. It advises kind of channeling the ease you might feel around someone you aren't attracted to and applying that to these target men.
Okay. And then there's this tactic involving phone sex after the second date.
Right, the CLITT acronym.
Mhm.
Call, listen, ignore, that, text. It's positioned as a really powerful tool.
But again, not physical.
No, the whole point is to intensify his interest, create what it calls a mental tattoo of you, without physical contact. Key parts of the strategy include initiating these calls late at night, maybe when he's more suggestible, and importantly, directing the sexual conversation, taking control.
So it's about creating intense intimacy and desire, but purely through psychology and conversation at that stage.
That's the strategy laid out, yes. And building general connection and trust is also part of the toolkit.
How does that work strategically?
One way mentioned is becoming a superior secret keeper, like a therapist almost. The idea is that if men feel they can confide in you deeply about things they wouldn't tell others, they trust you more.
And why would they trust these women not to gossip?
The book suggests it's because these women project a different kind of persona, maybe less involved in typical social circles, so men feel their secrets are safer.
And this trust allows for another level of boundary games.
Sort of. It enables the slow lifting of sanctions, as the book terms it.
Meaning,
Gradually allowing him into your space, letting him visit your place or you going to his. But, and this is crucial, still maintaining very strict boundaries, especially no sex yet.
oh,
To keep him hooked, wanting more, it creates this illusion of increasing intimacy, making him feel like he's getting closer, but without him ever actually getting comfortable or reaching the goal of sex. The book gives an example like letting him put his ass on his lap briefly during a visit, but keeping it short, maintaining control.
proximity without payoff to
Yeah.
keep the tension high. And relationship titles are a no-go.
Generally avoided, yes. The book advises against defining the relationship with labels like boyfriend-girlfriend. The idea is that maintaining ambiguity keeps the fantasy alive and stops him from getting too comfortable or feeling like he's won. It keeps his motivation to pursue and provide benefits higher.
Okay, that covers a lot of the core tactics. What about managing this whole lifestyle? The whole life, as the book calls it. Juggling multiple men.
The source basically says, handle as many as you realistically can. Treats, tricks, sponsors, manage a portfolio, essentially.
Really?
Yeah, based on your time, your energy, your emotional capacity. It's framed partly as a numbers game. More prospects means more potential benefits.
And what if the man himself is a player, using his own tactics?
The book acknowledges that men definitely use their own strategies. Attention, promises, charm, often playing on a woman's need for validation.
So what's the advice?
Be aware of it. Maybe even let him think he's winning the game initially. But stay sharp, stick to your plan, and don't fall for it. Stay perceptive.
Makes sense. How about ending these arrangements? Is there a specific way recommended?
A slow fade is generally preferred over a clean break.
Why is that?
The book suggests using excuses you're getting busy, family troubles, maybe travel. This approach, rather than an abrupt end, might allow you to continue receiving benefits that were already in motion, like maybe car payments or rent that was already agreed upon. A hard breakup cuts everything off instantly.
Interesting. The book even discusses the possibility of, well, getting caught or maybe even revealing the strategy.
It does. It makes this pretty bold claim that sometimes men might actually forgive women who use these tactics.
Forgive them. Why?
The argument presented is that these men value the unique personality, the confidence, the excitement the woman brings so much that they might overlook the manipulation. It even floats the idea of strategically revealing your past, framing yourself as a retired savage who now has dirty sophistication.
Wow, dirty sophistication. That's a term.
Yeah.
But it's not all success stories, right? There are warnings. Who fails?
Oh, definitely. There's a key cautionary tale about a woman named Tanya.
What happened with her?
She was dealing with an NFL player, apparently got impatient, tried to blackmail him, claiming she was pregnant when she wasn't. And it backfired completely. She lost everything.
Ouch.
Yeah. The book uses her story to hammer home the importance of intelligence, strategy, patience, and crucially, not letting desperation or ego drive your decisions. Impulsivity is a killer in this game.
So, keep your cool, stick to the plan. What about the cost? Does a woman need to spend a lot of money on clothes in appearance of this?
The book actually argues against that. It addresses doing it on a budget.
Really?
Yeah, it claims you don't need expensive designer stuff. The real key is the confidence you get from feeling good in whatever you wear, even if it's cheap. That inner feeling, that projection of confidence is what supposedly attracts the wealth and makes the tactics work, not the price tag on your dress.
That's interesting. And these tactics, according to the book, they aren't just for getting new benefits from new men.
Right. It suggests they can actually be applied within existing relationships, even long-term ones.
How would that even work? Seems counterintuitive.
Yeah. The idea is that re-injecting some of this strategic interaction, this excitement, this, well, game playing can actually revitalize a relationship that's gone stale. It might inspire the man to put in more effort again.
Huh. And what about sex within that existing relationship context?
It suggests improving intimacy isn't just about new positions or something. It's about using guided conversation, directing the scene, as it puts it, talking about fantasies, guiding him verbally to keep things exciting and focused on his pleasure, which in turn makes him more invested.
Okay. And one last point. The book seems quite keen to distinguish this whole strategy from, say, being an escort.
It does draw that line very firmly. It keeps reiterating that the sugar baby approach described relies on mind games, psychological strategy, and leveraging interaction to get benefits without it necessarily being a direct transaction for sex.
Contrasting it with.
With what it sees as simpler, less sophisticated pay-for-play arrangements. It uses various anecdotes throughout to show examples of what the author considers successful strategic applications versus failures or more direct transactional approaches.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. This deep dive has really unpacked a book that lays out a very specific and highly strategic framework. It's for women whose primary goal in interacting with certain men is material gain.
Yeah, it's a whole system built on applied psychology, cultivating intense self-confidence, and using disciplined, often non-sexual tactics to achieve that goal.
And just to reiterate, our goal here was simply to explore and explain the information and the strategies as they are presented in this particular source material. We've aimed to be as neutral as possible.
Absolutely, just presenting the content.
Right. So for you listening, this has been a glimpse into one, let's say, provocative viewpoint on power, relationships, and dynamics between men and women. Kind of makes you think, doesn't it? What does this perspective reveal about how value, attraction, maybe even transaction function in relationships more broadly, even when it's not this explicit?
And it definitely leaves us with a big question to chew on. The book sort of frames these tactics as a way to level the playing field, suggesting men have manipulated women for ages. But if that's the case, does using manipulation back actually lead to genuine empowerment? Or does it just lock everyone into a cycle of strategy and counter-strategy where everyone's potentially a mark?
Yeah, that's definitely something to think about.